Howdy, folks. Max Caveman here, and welcome to my end of season wrap up for the Pokemon uh, World Championship Series for 2024. This is just my series end up for the journey to the World Championships. I have been, there has been a detailed list given up, but I've just got some notes here about like how many people have made it to the World Championships. Um, I've looked through that. I've seen some names that I know of, so I've just thought I'll give a breakdown of basically the season and how it felt, so to speak. But so for me personally, um, I ended up getting 109 points, which was a bit shy of the 300 I needed for my world invite. Um, with that, I got 12 points from challenges, 57 from cups, and 40 from regionals. Not too bad for my first attempt at a world's invite. Definitely the fact that I didn't get any points until um, about halfway through the season did limit the number of points I did get overall, but I still had fun. That was absolutely amazing to see. Um, but having a look at the recap here, I found some of the numbers quite interesting because it has been shown that we have just about 2,500 participants at the World Championships, and that's you got 1,300, about 1,300 masters, about 620 seniors, and then juniors are about 560. Those numbers are rough estimates. I did check the ladder afterwards, but there are some things that are um, hit and miss with the screenshot that I saw with the full breakdown and what's actually on the ladder. So I'm not going to spend too much time. But having around 2,500 participants at the World Championships seems amazing. A nice big event, definitely something to watch out for. But it's when you get to start seeing the breakdowns of the regions. Hold on a sec. Sorry about that. The light was just starting to flicker. Interesting seeing the breakdowns. So both North America and Europe had around 600 players from all age divisions. I say roughly. The list that I looked at had North America at 611, Europe at 604, all up. Um, then you have Latin America just shy of 500 at 496, and then Oceania at just under 200, 193. Um, and that's the main one that I'm more interested in. Um, because I am an Oceania player, it is. I just found that interesting. But focusing mainly on Oceania, we had basically even numbers for juniors and seniors, and then at 34, 35, juniors slightly less, which kind of makes sense that you should see more numbers going up. But surprisingly, that's not what happened with Latin America. There was more juniors than there were seniors qualifying. But for Masters in Oceania, we end up with about 125. That number is surprisingly low. Um, Now, the number one player this season was from Australia, so he was an Oceania player. That being Brent Tonson, who rounded out a fantastic year. But a lot of the high ranking players are actually from Australia. Well, there's a few stuff like Brent Tonson, obviously, and Nally Miller, definitely up there in the top ends. But yeah, it's just a bit strange seeing so few um, Oceania players. I think the main reason is we don't have many events. Um, Definitely, well, especially for me, we started the season in Perth, West Australia, with only two stores running events. I believe we have six now, but starting the season with two stores running challenges um, and cups, and then I think there was through the year we got two more stores starting running challenges, and then eventually got cups in the last quarter. So we didn't have that many opportunities for high payout cups. Um, that being said, 125 is not that bad. But very interestingly, there were nine players um, on my list that I saw. I'm not sorry if anyone sees this that is from WA um, that did get the World's invite that I completely glossed over your name, but that's nine masters. Yeah, nine masters from basically a state. A lot of the Pokemon events are mainly focused in this area because that's just the way West Australia is. But yeah, nine players and a lot of people basically got their invites. So where's some of that? No, I believe we got five people um, their invites in the last week, um, which is not the best. Definitely, you do want people getting their invites earlier, but that's sort of the way it went, I guess. Um, Now, that is just the Masters. I know a lot of the seniors and juniors got easier runs. We have a junior at my locals who basically got a free invite just by rocking up at events. Um, they got their best finish limits for challenges very easily just by being the only junior rocking up. Um, and by the end of the season, they won two cups 2 weeks apart, like a week apart, just because they were the only junior there. So the juniors and seniors definitely had a much easier time getting to um, getting their invite because I believe there was probably less than 30, maybe less than 40 juniors and seniors combined. But with masters, we had um, in the Perth greater area, we have probably about between 150 and 200 players. So definitely we were starved for events, um, but that's sort of the way it went this season. Um, but I thought I would share a little bit more info about my season. Um, so my rankings for um, the Oceania, um, the Oceania rankings that you can see on the official Pokemon website in the leaderboards was 219, and my global ranking was 20,612. Obviously, that's out of everything. But seeing how close points were to thresholds was actually quite interesting. I reckon if we had another cup in Perth, we would have got potentially another, uh, probably another 5 invites. So that's actually a big thing. And just to on to talk about one of the biggest things that I feel happened from the season, and people were bringing it up. Like we had a end of season wrap up, and we just like all went out for dinner. There was just a group of us after the last cup for the season. Yeah, we just all went out to dinner and hung out for quite a few hours afterwards. But someone brought up, it's just like, oh yeah, you got this happen this season. And the big thing was Perth Regionals round one. So for the Perth Australia Regionals, that was the week following EYC. It was not televised, which, well, not streamed to YouTube and stuff like that. So it was a bit annoying, but we still had it, so that was good. But we had a lot of the high-ranking Oceania players fly into Perth on their way home, and so they decided to, well, they intentionally did that so they can attend the regional, then go home the next week after EYC. And my round one opponent was Brent Tonneson. At the time, global rank 1, and he still is right now for the 2024 season. So I just look at the pairings on my phone and I'm just like, okay. I show my friends, and they're just like, oh, well, good luck. Because the interesting thing is, he actually got into Perth the day of a challenge. Like, I wasn't feeling well enough to go to this challenge. I would have, because I was very sick the week before. But he came in, went 5-0, swept the entire challenge, and then proceeded to go 801 day one of Perth Regionals, and I happened to be that one in 801. Just forcing a tie from such a high-ranking player felt so good, especially since I feel like I'm more of a high low tier or like a low mid tier player. Most of the time, I'm not, like, I can do well, but I do feel like I'm more towards the lower end of the, like, a lower mid for the players in Perth. But maybe I'm wrong in that, thinking that. But yeah, that's just the way I felt about that. But yeah, being able to play against someone so highly recognized was actually amazing, and yeah, definitely one of the biggest highlights of the 2024 season. So it was good to see. Now, originally, I was going to record this video once the 2025 World Championship details got announced. They actually got announced about an hour and a bit ago from the time that I'm recording this video, but I feel like that needs its own video because that is a interesting topic, to say the least. And at the moment, I have been writing out, making sure I know what events are coming up. So this is going to be a pretty serious change here. So I just want to get its own video. So um, hopefully you like this little breakdown. Hopefully you did check out my journey through the 2025 World Championship Series. Sadly, no invite. Let's see what we can do about next year. That being said, have a good one, folks.